Good evening. Very few athletes in the history of the world have changed the course of American sports. Babe Ruth saved the game of baseball after the Black Sox scandal and revolutionized the game with his powerful bat. Red Grange so captivated the American public that he catapulted football into the forefront of American sports life. And Jesse Owens was so great and versatile in the Olympic Games that he single-handedly fragmented the Nazi theory of racial supremacy. In the past 20 years, Muhammad Ali has dominated the world of sports. Boxing was declining in 1960 when this young man from Louisville stepped into the ring and danced and punched his way to an Olympic gold medal. Now, 20 years later, people are wondering, can Muhammad Ali win the heavyweight championship for the fourth time? Over these past 2 decades, Muhammad Ali has built a legend. And tonight, in a BerksCable exclusive, we will examine this legend of Muhammad Ali. Jimmy Breslin wrote, "The old Ali was thinner in the middle, bending, swaying, his legs covering wide patches of the ring with movement that required no effort. Mocking the other guy, Ali would double up and triple up with a jab, bat, 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 between the eyes, and leave the other guy squinting and confused and in pain. In Lewiston, Maine, when he boxed Sonny Liston for the second time, Ali hit Liston with 2 jabs, bat, bat, and Liston took them between the eyes. He had to blink pain and water away, and by the time he was set to punch, Ali was gone. Speed, Sonny Liston once snorted. How fast does he go? He's faster than the wind. He'll kiss a bullet. He'll run through hell in a gasoline sport coat and live to talk about it. Just as Ali stood above the boxing world like a colossus, he suffered the biggest setback of his career. Ali refused to fulfill a service commitment and had his title stripped from him. A steady stream of bad publicity followed him for years. Soon after he was reinstated to the ring, Ali was faced with an obstacle in reclaiming his glory. That obstacle was Joe Frazier. Ali's critics expected and hoped for a crucifixion, but when Muhammad fought Frazier, they saw a big man enter the ring and a bigger man leave at the end of a fight. These 2 gladiators gave every ounce of energy and courage in their battles, and Ali, after much pain and endurance, emerged as the victor. In the first encounter, Frazier exploded the left into Ali's face, sending him to the canvas, his head ricocheting frightfully to the floor, his feet waving in the air. He got up and finished the round, but he had lost. "The way they were hitting," said referee Arthur Mercani, "I was surprised that they went 15. They threw some of the best punches I've ever seen." "That man," Frazier said later, his own face covered with hurt, "can sure take some punches. I went to the country, back home, for some of the punches I hit him with." Ali rebounded from this defeat, and the thriller in Manila once again established Ali as a man who controlled the destiny of the boxing world. As a 31-year-old, Ali, who had unexpectedly lost to Ken Norton and sustained a beating in the process, worked himself into great shape for the rematch. Those who counted him out of boxing watched him rise from the ashes to decision Norton. Norton would never be the same again. Since that time, Ali has done it again and again, discouraging George Foreman, revenging himself against the bewildered Leon Spinks. And now he faces Larry Holmes, the Easton assassin. Muhammad has proven that he can rise to a moment of glory and produce the unexpected. That is the reason he can command millions of dollars and international attention. That is the reason he dwarfs fighters like Norton, Frazier, Foreman and Holmes, men who have the ability to take his title but can never take his place as the king of boxing. The universe holds its breath for Ali, and millions are moved by him. Ali creates the impression that he bears nothing but scorn for his opponents. Nothing can be further from the truth. He is not capable of hatred or real meanness. What he says about his opponents comes from his head, not his heart. It's aimed at the public, those who will fatten the closed-circuit receipts on the night of the big fight. He has always wanted the world as his audience, and the kind of attention that few men in history ever receive. When defeat looms about Muhammad Ali, he reaches back for the Ali touch. Age and a playful nature have diminished his skills, but in the ring, we are all aware that Ali possesses what no other man can give another, an understanding of the craft of boxing. He recalls all the little things that make man a survivor: tying an opponent up, volleying when it counts the most, skirting sure trouble like a bank robber. There is one significant change in Ali these days. He still addresses mankind, but something has gone out of him. Looking at him, you get a sense of imminent danger, a feeling that something is on his trail and he cannot shake it. That something may be the fear of retirement or the knowledge that age has taken its toll. He is no longer invincible. The shadows are lengthening, but Ali is still Ali. If there is a chance that the Holmes fight will be his last hurrah, the last week of his training at Deer Lake Camp may begin the final chapter in the greatest sports story of our century. As part of this BerksCable exclusive, we visited Deer Lake 3 days prior to Ali's departure for Las Vegas to see the greatest heavyweight champion in boxing history. Deer Lake Training Camp is hidden in the mountains 20 miles north of Redding. It houses Muhammad Ali, his family, staff, sparring partners, some young boxing hopefuls, and an assortment of guests. The complex is a mecca for boxing fans from near and far. Several cabins and a small gymnasium dot the scenic mountainside. A number of large, protruding rocks boast the names of the greats of boxing. On one of these rocks, we discovered a young man who has sparred with both Ali and Larry Holmes. Sitting on top of Jack Dempsey's rock here with Lynn Pettigrew, who might be a familiar name to people in the Philadelphia area. He played with the Eagles for 2 years. He played football at Ashland College in Ohio, and now he's up at Deer Lake, and once Muhammad Ali goes to Las Vegas, he'll be sparring with Muhammad out in Las Vegas. And you sparred with a lot of the great ones, haven't you, Lynn?
It's Larry Holmes, I guess. Leroy Jones.
And what are some of the reasons that you turned to boxing, and what are some of the lessons that you've learned since you've turned to professional boxing from football?
The reason I turned was mainly to keep in shape. I had incurred so many injuries in football, knees and arms, and dislocated this and that and the other, just out of preservation to keep in shape. Hitting the bag, there was a bag in the gym, and after I started hitting it for a while, somebody says, "Hey, you can make some money doing that." And I said, "Yes." How much? The lessons: keep my right hand up, don't drop my right hand.
The transition from football to boxing, there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and I guess Too Tall found that out. What are some of the problems that you had in making the transition?
Being in a hurry, being an athlete, and having accomplished a great deal, I was a 5-time All-American in wrestling and in football, and you think you can do anything behind that. And boxing is such an old and refined sport that it doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's the biggest thing, is the patience that I have to take time to learn the sport.
And when you go to Las Vegas, it's one of the great events in sporting history, and you'll probably be out there for that fight. If you can look ahead and look into the crystal ball, what do you think's in store for boxing fans? What do you predict?
I predict one of the greatest shows in the history of sport. The ticket sales right now are incredibly ahead of themselves. It's going to be the biggest show in sporting events this year.
You're not placing your money right now. Is there anybody that you would bet on right at this moment?
Oh yes, I can say so with good knowledge. I've sparred with both of them, Ali and Larry, and I'm going to stay with the champ.
Well, Lynn, in your budding boxing career, we wish you the best of everything, and thanks for talking to us now, and make sure to get off this rock before the sun goes down.
Thank you.
When Lynn Pettigrew says he's sticking with the champ, he's referring to Ali. Everyone at Deer Lake calls Ali the champ. The gymnasium where Ali works out is a beehive of activity. Visitors and media types are made to feel welcome. No matter how hot the weather becomes, fans squeeze into every corner of the building to see Ali in action. They cheer his every move and laugh at every facial expression. Fans who are feeling their oats and throwing barbs at Ali are warned not to yell comments. They're told that Ali does the talking. On this day, nothing seems to be going easily for Ali. It's hot. He appears to be very tired and sluggish. The sweat rolls off him and his sparring partner for the day, Marty Monroe. For 8 rounds, Ali reminds himself and Monroe to work harder. The fight with Holmes is 1 month away. Ali must hone his fighting skills. The summer has been a time to sweat and strain in an attempt to harden his body, which had gone soft and flabby. His mind drives him to take a pounding day after day. The fans this day comment on how good he looks. Compared to his appearance 2 months before, Ali looks very good indeed. But can his body rebound again? Can he stay with Larry Holmes? In recent fights, Ali has used the ropes to his advantage. But against Norton and Spinks, the strategy also betrayed him. Nonetheless, Ali is working against the ropes most of the day, taking Monroe's punches and counterpunching. On this particular day, Ali showed very little of the grace and punching power that were his trademarks. Is it all part of a timetable that he set for himself? Badini, as always, scowls with a worried look. Ali does not look sharp, but he seems confident. Ali is the most accessible of the great athletes. Like Babe Ruth, he mingles with the people, jokes with them, answers their questions sincerely. The real image and the TV image are obviously miles apart. He touches the people and they flock near him. Small children especially share this bond of love with Ali. He's at ease with children because he knows they are innocent. They want nothing from him. They rarely cry when he holds them. This man has the magic touch. We'll sit back now and watch the greatest perform for his fans. We're here at Deer Lake Training Camp with Marty Monroe, and Marty's just gone through 8 rounds with Muhammad, preparing him for the big fight. Marty, what do you think of Muhammad at this stage of the game with about a month to go? How does he look to you?
Well, his weight is down tremendously, and his speed is still working. As we all know, Muhammad is the master of boxing. He's mastered the art, and for his age, he's doing a real good job. He's doing a beautiful job. He has about 4 or 5 more weeks left, and his hands are still moving rapidly. He still has fast hands, and he's the master, so we can't take nothing from him. I'm looking for him to be victorious coming October 2nd.
He's a miracle man. Many times people have said he couldn't do it, but he always manages to come up with the miracle. In Las Vegas, there'll be millions of people watching, and you're taking a part in getting him ready for that fight. How long have you been fighting, Marty?
I've been fighting now professionally going on 6 years. Never had an amateur fight, and I've had lots of experience. Muhammad Ali, I've boxed with all champions: George Foreman, Kenny Norton, Joe Frazier, Ernie Shavers. I've boxed with all the champions, and it's a pleasure to be here working with Muhammad Ali. He's a good man. He's a godly man. People don't understand why he's able to pull these miracles off. It's because he has God with him, and he's a godly man. He's a beautiful man, and God is a miracle maker, not Muhammad.
And what's your record so far, Marty, in the pro ranks?
21 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss.
Well, that's great, and sometime we're going to see you with that belt around your waist, and I wish you all the luck in the world, and you did a great job of working out with Muhammad today.
Thank you very much.
For all our BerksCable viewers, Ali was gracious enough to make his prediction on the big fight.
This is Muhammad Ali. I know you recognize me. The greatest fight of all times. I'm now getting ready to embark upon something which has never been done by human. Why it's never been done? Because no one has been great enough to fight for the title 4 times. No one has ever won it 3 times. I promise you, they say I'm too old, they say it won't work. But I promise you a miracle. You're looking at a miracle already. Came in at 252 pounds. Now I'm down to 224. That's a miracle. Came in fat a few weeks ago. Now I'm slim and pretty. So tell all the world that when I meet Larry Holmes October the 2nd, I promise you it will not go 9. His behind will be 9 and round 9. And not in round 9, but anything before 9. In my younger days, I could call them round, but I'm not going to put myself on the spot this time. I'm going to get Holmes somewhere within 8. It will not go 9. From 1 to 8, I promise you, he will fall, and all he'll see is this.